The Kelly family was an American family of serial killers who operated between August and December 1887 near a town called Oak City, just south of the Kansas state border. The family consisted of William Kelly, his wife Kate, his son Billy, and daughter, Kit. In 1869, William Kelly, aged 55, made a startling confession about his family's journey from the Pennsylvania mountains to Kansas. After their initial move, they wandered to various locations along the southern border until they finally found a home in no man's land, approximately 25 miles away from Beaver, Oklahoma. At first, their livelihood centered around cattle, but eventually, they decided to open a tavern. This establishment served as a welcoming haven for fellow cattlers and travelers seeking respite. Despite their illiteracy, the Kellys were perceived as an ordinary, hardworking family, and no one held any suspicions about them or their activities. Within the span of a few months, a series of mysterious disappearances occurred along the road leading to the Kelly Tavern. Surprisingly, the family was not suspected of any wrongdoing until around December 1887, when they abruptly vacated their home without informing anyone. Intrigued by their sudden departure, a traveler named S.T. Gregg from St. Louis, who had previously visited the tavern, decided to investigate further. Upon entering the deserted tavern, an odor overwhelmed Gregg, emanating from a concealed cellar beneath the house. To his horror, he stumbled upon 3 men. Curiosity led him to a trapdoor hidden under the tavern's floor, raising suspicions even further. Without delay, Gregg reported his grim findings to the authorities. Subsequently, search parties, including one led by a cowboy known as Texie, scoured the premises. During their search, the men's attention was drawn to a patch of disturbed soil near the barn door. Upon excavation, they made a gruesome discovery: a body with a fractured skull, evidently murdered with an axe. As the digging continued, 7 more bodies were unearthed, 2 of which were women. Although most of the people were beyond recognition, 3 individuals were identified by their clothing: Jim Coven, a catman with business ties to the region in Texas; J.T. Taylor, a wealthy salesman from Chicago who had gone missing; and Johnson, a merchant from Texas. A disturbing piece of evidence was also found: a rusty old axe with traces of human flesh on its blade, presumably the murder weapon. The revelation of these horrifying scenes left the community in shock and disbelief. Following the shocking discoveries of the murders, news reached Beaver that the entire Kelly family had recently passed through the town on their way to New Mexico. Witnesses reported that they were driving several horses and appeared to be carrying a significant amount of money. In response, a posse of 20 determined men quickly formed and began tracking the family's trail, which led to Palo Duro Creek. However, it seemed the Kellys had altered their route towards Wheeler, Texas. After a relentless pursuit, the posse eventually caught up with them. A 2-hour chase ensued until Kate Kelly met a tragic fate when her horse stumbled, causing her to suffer a fatal neck injury. The vigilantes left her behind and continued their pursuit, catching up with Bill and Kit. While William managed to escape, the posse apprehended Kit. Facing capture, Kit pleaded for mercy, but her brother scorned her for her involvement in the murders. The posse prepared 2 ropes and intended to hang both siblings from a nearby tree. Just before the execution, Kit whispered to Bill, contemplating whether she should reveal everything. In response, Bill cursed the posse, encouraging them to discover the truth themselves. The siblings were then hanged from the tree. Meanwhile, the vigilantes continued their pursuit of William, whose horse left a distinct trail due to being shot only in the front. After firing warning shots, they cornered him and William surrendered, dismounting from his horse. The leader demanded a full confession of his sins, and William began explaining their family history. However, he denied personal involvement in the killings, claiming their move to Texas was motivated by the crime in their previous area. Unsatisfied with his explanation, the posse quickly hanged William for a brief period before lowering him down and urging him to confess truthfully. Finally, under the weight of the evidence, he revealed that all family members had participated in the crimes, divulging the location of the hidden money and admitting to the murders of 9 men and 2 women. The elder Kelly was then stripped of his belongings, including a gold watch that belonged to J.T. Taylor, and left to hang as the grim conclusion to the tragic tale of the Kelly family's heinous deeds.